Hello, I am Rachel Harries and welcome to the Marriage Challenge podcast, brought to you each month by Care for the Family. It is great to have you with us. So today I am delighted to be joined by Becky and Phil Morgan, who are going to talk about a subject that many couples can relate to, which is what happens when you have very different personalities, especially when one of you is an extrovert and the other is an introvert. So before we get into all of that, let me introduce them. Becky actually works for Care for the Family and has been here for how long, Becky?
Nearly 11 years.
11 years. And Phil works supporting young offenders, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Excellent. And they have 2 children and live in South Wales. So Becky and Phil, welcome. It is great to have you with us. Now, what we would love to know first of all is what we ask all of our couples, which is how did you meet and how did you end up getting married?
We met in Porthcawl and we went out one night and then I decided to ask Becky for a date and it was the day after I picked Becky up and to go out somewhere and I knew on that first date that I'd met somebody that I was gonna marry, oddly enough, because I remember saying to my sister when I dropped Becky off after the date, I just thought, I just know and I'm convinced that I'm going to marry this person. And she slapped me over the head and said, don't be so silly.
His sister now, not
you, no. So did you have the same feeling?
It was a definite instant connection, I think, wasn't it? I did. My mum said I had a glint in my eyes.
Oh. And so when did you get married then?
It was exactly a year later, a year to the day we met.
Yeah,
we got married.
Yeah, which can be controversial in some ways. I think some people think, "Oh gosh, that's quick," but we just knew. It was just one of those rare occasions where somebody just absolutely knows that you've met your life partner.
Yeah.
And so it was easy for me to decide, really.
Oh, and you're about to celebrate 10 years.
Yeah.
Why don't we have a look at today's topic, which is couples with different personality types. So now tell me, would I be right in saying that you two have some big differences between you?
Yeah, I think we're different, from food to films to activities.
Tidy, you're messy.
Yeah.
I like to plan everything. You're spontaneous.
Oh, yes.
I love to go out. He likes to stay in.
Yeah.
A date night. What would a date night look to you?
Watching a film, having a takeaway, staying in.
Whereas I'd much rather go out, go for a nice meal, and just talk the evening away. You know.
Whereas I like to retreat to my castle every night, lock up the fort and.
And I love being around people. That's whereas you much prefer.
It's not that I don't like people.
No, you do like people.
I like people, but I like to be around people in, I guess,
small doses.
Yeah, in a controlled way.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah. My battery drains quite quickly because I work with people in an intense job 9 to 5, and I think when I come home I just like to kind of have that recharge time.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Becky could just go 24/7 without having to recharge her battery.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah. So would you say that is really the biggest difference between you both?
Well, I think the biggest difference is the fact that I'm much more of an extrovert.
So what impact would you say that has on your relationship?
The biggest difference really is the people side of things. So I would much rather have people over. That's where I get my energy from, being with people, being around people. And so like if I've had a busy week, it doesn't matter. At the weekend, I still would love to go out and be around people.
That's how you unwind almost.
Definitely. Whereas you definitely re-energise from having that downtime. And if you've had a busy week, you just need some downtime without people around.
That's right. Yeah, and I think we've noticed it at times where when we have the weekend off, Becky likes to invite friends over and do things because that's the time when we can do it because we work 9 to 5 and have busy lives, I guess. Whereas I've struggled with that because I'm like, this is the time when I recharge, this is the time where we spend time together as a family. So I think you can bring people into your introvertness once you're close and comfortable with them, and they can enjoy that safety side of things.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're not familiar with people, it's difficult to bring them into your introvertness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So you struggle a bit more with strangers than... Yeah,
I guess we have probably one close couple, whereas we feel comfortable enough to do that. I do. Which is great, and I love it when I know they're coming over, because I'm like, oh, great. I don't mind being myself and wearing my pyjamas around the table.
As a couple, how have you learnt to successfully handle these differences?
One of the things I soon realised was that I would just invite people over and then tell Phil that that's what was happening. Whereas I needed to, I need to talk to him about it first and say and make sure it's kind of planned in advance and things like that.
I think we did have quite a lot of fallout, I suppose, in the early stages, because Becky didn't understand my side of the personality, and I didn't understand Becky's. For a long time we just thought we were being awkward with each other, but once we understood that, you know, we're created differently, we're designed differently, we think differently. We started to talk a lot more about this, didn't we?
Yes, we did. And one of the things is when we go on holiday, isn't it? So we go on holiday, and I would have something planned every day to do, whereas Phil needs that day where even I will go out with the children, you know, and have a day out with them so that he can just... And I've learned to understand that that's what he needs, and he will actually... be a better husband and dad when we come back then, you know, because he'll have had that time to kind of... And
I think what I've tried to explain to Becky is, as I've seen on a diagram someone once shared on a Introvert blog, and it was like a iPhone battery. You get a battery, when it gets drained, it showed it in sections of hours. So if you're around people for 3 hours, it's quarter drained. If you're around them for 6 hours, it's half drained, and if you're around people for 9 hours, your battery's completely gone. And if I'm doing things all the time and around people all the time, I really feel like I can't give out much to people. So I think I've communicated that to Becky, that after a certain time on a holiday, I need to have a day off, really. And I'll be better for you know, people when I'm like that.
Yes, and I understand that now, you know, so it's just learning that we're incredibly different in that way, and communicating as well, you know, communicating with each other, you know, because also for you to understand that actually for me to be around people that I thrive off that, I enjoy that, you know, and just to kind of get that balance with each other.
I suppose it's a compromise, isn't it?
It is.
Because it's not just about my introvertness. It's me having to think about what Becky needs as well. And that's been a struggle for me, because I'm like, there's two completely different wants there, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
We've had to meet in the middle. When
two people are just so different, there's always going to be differences there, you know, and it's just, I think we've just learned to to understand and accept each other of who we are. We're not going to change each other in that way, because that's us, that's who we are. So it's just understanding and communicating more.
Becky just loves to invite people over, and like I say, because our time is so precious, generally that can be done on the weekend. And there's been a few occasions where Becky's arranged for people to come over because we just absolutely need to see them, you know, haven't spent time with them for quite a while, and we need to maintain relationships. So Becky's done that, and at first I found it really difficult, because I'm like, I just need a bit of notice on this, and but Becky, sat me down and said, well, look, you need to understand that this is really important to me. This is something that I need to to benefit from and maintain my relationships, and we can't just not see these people because our time is precious. And so I thought about that long and hard, and I did struggle with it, if I'm honest. But yeah, it really hit home that it's not just about my needs, it's about Becky as well. So I said to her, look, yes, why don't we arrange, for example, on a Sunday night, in the evening, why don't you invite people over then? And we've
I think as well, like if we get invited to a party and things like that, that is just not Phil's thing. But you've come to things for me because you know that that's something I really want to go to.
Yeah.
And so you've done that to please me, not necessarily because he really wants to go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah. I've realised, things like that is important to Becky as well. So
I suppose that is part of marriage, isn't it? Doing things for the other person.
That's right, yes.
Because you love them and even if it may not be your first choice.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. And I think every married couple needs to get to that place where they understand each other and communicate what's important to them. And you're right, it's about
because it's not just about, you can get to the point where you think, well, they should know, you know, but actually often we need to communicate these things to each other.
So I am sure that there will be lots of couples listening who can really relate to this and who also experience huge differences in their personalities. What encouragement and advice would you be able to share with them?
It's okay to accept that you're different.
Yes.
A lot of people look for that partner, don't they, where they say, I want to find somebody identical to me, but it doesn't always work like that. It can do, but in our case, it's work that we're so different. So don't shy away from if your partner is different to you. Don't shy away from it. Someone once said to me, embrace difference. It's important to to embrace the difference in people rather than run away from it, because it can add to you, it can strengthen you, it can make you a better person. And
I think that's what we've done, isn't it? We've allowed it to be our strength within our relationship.
Becky and Phil, thank you so much for all your insight. So before we finish, in every episode we ask our guest couple to give us a marriage challenge. Now, what challenge would you like to give our listeners for the month ahead?
I would challenge couples to set aside some quality time, and whether that's weekly or fortnightly, just make sure you make that time, and find 2 or 3 things that you really admire and like and recognise that's a strength to your marriage, and talk to your partner and share that and encourage them with that, and I believe that'll bring a lot of strength into the marriage.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you hear your partner encourage you on something that you're different to them in, it can be really reaffirming, you know, and we've done that in our marriage, and it's really encouraged us, so... Yeah,
words are really important, and I've noticed in my life when Becky has, taken time aside just to share with me the things that she admires and likes, for some people words mean a lot, and it means a lot to me, and it really reaffirms and strengthens our relationship and friendship.
It does.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. So we hope that you will also join in the challenge and try it at home this month. Also, a reminder that you can sign up on the Care for the Family website to receive more news and updates from this podcast. When you do, you automatically receive a 20% discount off your next purchase from the Care for the Family shop. So do check that out. So that's all for this episode. It just leaves me to say thank you, Becky and Phil, for joining us. And we look forward to tackling another marriage challenge next time. Goodbye.
You have been listening to the Marriage Challenge podcast. For further information about our courses, resources and events, visit us at www.careforthefamily.org.uk.